Welcome back, guys. Whew, we are coming off the tail end of a very intense winners finals where we saw Kairo's Cinderella story unfortunately end at the hands of Saikai 3-1. We will be seeing them move on to the grand finals, and we'll be seeing more of Kairo's and losers finals. Now, we have been swapping out commentators, introducing a new commentator. With me, we have FLC, I believe. That's it, right?
Sup?
FLC?
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
How are you all doing?
I was thinking FTC. I'm like, wait a minute. It's not FTC. It's something different. So what was it?
Yeah, I don't think that was what I was going for with that name, no. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to be hopping into losers bracket action now. So this is back to best of 3. We're going to be seeing Crème Fresh versus Synergy up here.
This is going to be a really good one. I'm excited for it. Crème Fresh we saw earlier. However, Synergy is a new name to me. Don't really have experience with them, but these stages that we have on do seem similar. We have seen Splat Zones, Muscle Force Fitness before, which will be round 1, and round 2 will be Tower Control on the Reef, which is another one we saw that got pretty volatile towards the end. Humpback Pump Track, if we do need it, is a one we saw a blowout. It was literally almost a rush to 20 points from one team, and then Humpback Pump Track from the other team ended up getting a clean knockout. So it's a volatile matchup, and I think it's perfect for a potential tiebreaker if we do need a game 3. But going back to the first round, Muscle Force Fitness. Whew, how do you think this one is going to go? Splat Zones. We saw this one actually in the grand finals. So seeing it the first to start, this one, I don't know how's one going to go.
Yeah, I gotta say I really like this map set for Synergy because they play a really aggressive kind of style, and all 3 of these maps, as you said, really volatile, so it really favors the kind of hyper-aggressive, like in-your-face kind of play that they like to go for. At the same time, we saw off-stream Synergy versus Team Olive actually had a couple of really close games at the end, and Synergy's main downfall in those games, even though they eventually won them, what got them into the position where they were close to begin with was that they were sort of being too aggressive, you know? So, just as much as they could, on Pump Track, make a really fast, aggressive play and just, secure a win, they could also accidentally go a little bit too aggressive, and then Crème Fresh could do the same thing back to them.
Exactly.
So I'm really excited.
We were talking about on Humpback. If you do get too aggressive, but you mess up and you get them near their incline, they're able to, if they can, grab that Rainmaker, take the incline, and get a quick 40-point boost into their own turf. And then all I gotta do is make a quick dash from there if there's nobody defending it. But Muscle Force Fitness with Splat Zones. It all depends on how this one is going to play out. Rapid blasters will be abundant, as we saw in the last game. We will be seeing some charges as well, because they can come up a lot of turf quickly. Splat zones and bomb rushes will be efficient. And again, if someone were to bring out the custom Splatter Shot Junior, I wouldn't say no to it. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah, actually, the Ink Storm is quite effective on Muscle Forge. You get into one of the side areas. It's very easy to get into the side areas just out of spawn and not get taken out. And well, I guess we're getting straight into it actually. So it's Crème Fresh vs Synergy, game 1 on Muscle Forge.
Both of them have a Splatter Shot Junior at the disposal, and it looks like. Actually, oh no, they also have a 10% Splatter Shot. Otherwise, the team is pretty different thanks to the other weapons. A Charger gives Crème Fresh a little bit more range on their disposal, but Synergy has a lot more ability to just cover turf quickly, which on a map as tight-knit as this one might be the best idea. But Crème Fresh, it does get control away from Synergy, puts a 14-point drop on them, and Majin is sitting pretty ready to drop those bombs when necessary. But it doesn't look like he needs it right now, although his teammate does go down. He is able to get the Avenger KO, and Ink Armor comes out from the right side. Looks like the Splatter Shot. Not able to do much, but the KO is on Majin before he's able to drop that bomb rush, and Crème Fresh keeps control of the zones.
Yeah, you can actually see here exactly what I was saying before. The Synergy is getting in really deep, but they couldn't quite get anything accomplished because Crème Fresh was able to hold, and that let them hold the zone for probably an extra 20 points or so. But now that Synergy is in control, we'll have to see whether Crème Fresh can out-turf them and get in with a solid foothold on one side of the map and maybe push across.
And they have to do this, but at the same time, you see very often that they'll have control of the map, but then somebody will start flanking, and this is damaging. Yeah, the suction bomb rush going out. This is going to put Synergy back really well, and just like that, Crème Fresh takes control back right before they're able to actually take the lead in this matchup, and that suction bomb rush was definitely what they needed. It was a saving grace for them in this moment, and you quickly using the scope as well to put pressure on the to cover up the turf from the curling bomb. And right now, that whole turf is looking like it's all there. There's the Charger keeping point, making sure you're putting pressure everywhere. They are locking them down, and they cannot get in, but they do get in from the middle, as we have Paul and the Blaster as well. Not the Blaster. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The Tennis Splat shot. And until he gets shut down, they do have control. Crème Fresh is now in the lead, holding it down, trying to get KO'd by that Tri-Slosher, but not really letting that happen. And now
this is sick play here from Crème Fresh. The perfect timing on the suction rush, and now like they've had such good control over the entire last 10 seconds or 30 seconds or so, and like that sealed it so easily for them. They pushed up just aggressively enough. They had margin up on the bunker, just getting shots over onto the high ground that Synergy was trying to jump into, and it was a lockout from there. There was nothing that Synergy could do. That was really, really impressive.
Yeah, they really held it down. They were looking a little shaky in the beginning, but they got control of that quickly, and then they used their range to their advantage. They knew that, and again, in Splat Zones, it's basically like an advanced version of Turf War. You get the main zone, and then you just cover up everything else, but you have to make sure that this area is locked down. Crème Fresh did exactly that, locked down that zone, and then you saw they had everybody, they had one person on each corner, two on the middle. Even though they did break in through the middle a little bit, they were still able to come up from the top and just shut it down. So, I mean, shouts to them, they were able to lock it down. Now we're going to see if Synergy has a synergy with it within this map mode and combination to go in and get this into a game 3, because I would love to see Humpback Pump Track Rainmaker. That would actually be a great tiebreaker.
Yeah, that'd be absolutely sick. I mean, we already saw in this, Crème Fresh absolutely can take the fight to Synergy. That was the one thing I was kind of concerned about, was maybe Synergy might be a little bit too much with their aggression and maybe catch Crème Fresh's Charger comp off guard. But that was, like I said, that was a clinic from Crème Fresh. They did everything right in that game. But at the same time, that was Splat Zones. They only have to push up to mid and a little bit further perhaps. But on tower control, especially on the Reef, you need to take the enemy team's base in order to get a knockout here. So we'll have to see whether Crème Fresh can build up that momentum and get the steam train going.
Well, we have the double Tenatech swap from Synergy. That is going to be interesting. We have a roller, which I gotta question it. I honestly can't imagine how the roller would be really good on tower control on this one. But I mean, he's the one playing, not me. Let's see what he brings in. It's just that the curling bomb, see, just right there, he kind of gets caught up. I don't know. But regardless, they do have control over around the tower, and honestly, I think the Splattershot Jr. is a great choice for this one, because when you grab that tower, if there's a lot of ink around that tower area, you can just quickly cover it. Running out of ink there, that is the saddest moment you could ever see in Splatoon life.
Yeah, not something that tends to happen to the Junior an awful lot, I gotta say. And yeah, like you say, the Junior is fantastic for the sort of early tower push where you're just getting into the enemy team's sort of tree area, and you can just paint the map, get the armor up so your team can push ahead. And yeah, but at the same time, we see that Synergy is actually got Crème Fresh on the back foot here. There's a, it was 4v4 for a little bit there, but Synergy definitely had the map control advantage, and now they're starting to push it.
All right, we have Tim sitting on the tower, I believe, with the Tenatech Splatter Shot. Yes, it is. Those are bombing the potential area, but the Rapid Blast is going to force them off and get the KO at the same time. But you cannot forget the perch of that bridge. Those two gaps you have on the left and right side can allow the enemy team to get a lot of coverage on you. So you got to make sure your own team is putting that pressure right there. Majin using his bomb rush to try and cover up turf and keep himself safe. Looks like he did it, but a wayward burst bomb was the one that caught him. Ran with the Tri-Slosher, putting on a lot of pressure, as now trying to keep get Crème Fresh off of that bridge, unfortunately not able to do it. And the Stingray is pressuring them, allowing them to start escorting this tower into the zone. 83 points, and at the first checkpoint, because they're going to be poised to take it. And actually the Charger, Crème Fresh, charging the person on the tower, realizing and remembering the fact that that point is a really prime point to start pressuring somebody at that checkpoint, locking them down. They were not able to get past the checkpoint, but they did take the lead, 73-77.
Yeah, and you could actually see the Stingray, the story of the tournament, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Coming in clutch there a couple of times, getting a couple of just useful picks to slow down Synergy on the deeps there. And now, though, Synergy has pushed up quite a lot. You can see a lot of the map is purple here. Sorapol's just chilling on the tower, getting some culling bot, but Margin, as he does, coming in from the side. That's the real thorn in Synergy's side right now. They've got to find some way to stop Margin's flanks.
I mean, this bomb rush is locked and loaded, ready to go. They almost pushed it back 72 to 73. Unfortunately, not able to keep that. As a matter of fact, I think they actually took the lead with that one. So yeah, there you go, 72-73. Right now, Synergy is in the lead slightly. Bajin is starting to drop his bomb rush, and you can just tell like his sensitivity must be on 11 because he was just spinning around like a spinner top, making sure he was throwing bombs everywhere necessary. Crème Fresh does push the tower just slightly, but then quickly runs off of it to try and pressure it. That was a really strange option to me, but with 4-3, they could try to make a push. It all depends on how they feel comfortable.
Yeah, what happened there is there was a flanker coming in, and the problem with the charger comp is that when you have... Wow, that was a nice shot there from Will.
Surprise! Sorry, I'm sorry.
And now we've got an inkjet. Now we've got an inkjet 1v1 going on over the tower. It looks like nothing's happening from that though. Actually, it looks like there might be. Oh no, the tower is at the checkpoint and still has to tick down the entire thing pretty much to get any kind of points going. But anyway, as I was saying, the what happened there was the charger got pushed back. And when you've only got 3 people up and one of them's a charger, you kind of can't make any aggressive plays at that point because the charger's kind of your anchor and can't really move that much.
Exactly.
And that's what happened when the flanker came in and took and got a key pick on the main area. So we'll have to see if Crème Fresh, because this is what's constantly happening. You keep seeing these purple crosses coming up on Crème Fresh's side of the map where Synergy is trying to make plays happen, and it's not necessarily working, but it's also not enough for Crème Fresh to push out off the back of that. They're slowing them down just enough.
We'll have to see. Right now, Crème Fresh has to start pushing this tower right now. It is 3v3, but we have Ink Armor going up 4v3 right now, and to the loss of body. Stingray is going live. Honestly, this might be the push, because they have 45 seconds to get 2 points so that they can take the lead over this way. And we have a flanker, the Tri-Slosher, trying to catch him, and is able to smack, I believe that was, actually, I couldn't catch anything, I apologize, but does catch the Tri-Slosher off guard, and they're able to push it. We're now 3-4. Synergy is in control, although the inkjet from Chronos is ready to go. If he can win this trade, he does not. But if he could have won that trade, he could have got on the tower and began pressuring it for his team. They actually, just 15 seconds, last push. Ink Armor goes out, he goes down, but his team does have armor now. 10 seconds left on the clock, and Crème Fresh does need to grab his tower now. We have Tim right now just kind of camping it, waiting for somebody to get on. He takes him out immediately, and that is going to be the game. 1 point victory. 1 point victory. That is just insane.
Man, I gotta say, like, you said it at one point there after they took the lead, like, it is the lead, but it's like 72 points? That's nothing. Like,
that's not much.
Surely they could have made something happen, but unfortunately it was just over and over and over again. Synergy just kept pushing Crème Fresh's base. It didn't matter that they were dying a lot of the time, because every time they did it, they went out and took someone down with them, and it slowed Crème Fresh down so much. They had to, and when they finally did get the tower, they still had to like take their own base back on top of that,
yes,
so that they could cover the tower. So that was really, really well executed from Synergy, and that's exactly what they need to be doing in the next game on Pump Track to secure the win.
That last game just showed how evenly matched those teams were, because they were going back and forth. It was nobody was really giving anything. Again, literally 1 point. That's all it was. So they were playing that game really well. Unfortunately, Crème Fresh was not able to snatch that at the end second. But you know what? That means I'm excited for this one, because this is going to be a really just a slobber knocker. As one of my favorite commentators says, a straight slobber knocker in that pit of Humpback Pump Track. Whoever, like, you want to blow up the Rainmaker shield so that way you have ink control around that. But there's not going to be a clear push for it until you get a 4-2 or a 3-1 advantage. Unless that happens, nobody's going to really attempt to move that Rainmaker. I mean, okay, maybe one team would attempt to push that Rainmaker, but still, this is gonna be a really tough one. As we get into it, we are ready to go, and I'm ready to see a whole bunch of curling bombs coming through, of splashdowns coming through, ink jets coming through. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a charger as well, and there's that charger from Brian, as the team comp from Synergy stays the same. And I don't blame them. Double Tender Tech, more specifically double Inkjet, will give them a lot of leverage to push that forward as Crème Fresh blows up the Rainmaker shield and gets ink coverage and control there.
Yeah, that fast pop is really, really key on this map because that fast pop will kill people who are on the ink rail, and that's quite often what happens with sort of heavy rush down. But we see Kronos going in absolutely ham right now.
It's 4-1. It's 4-1. Push the Rainmaker. I'm sorry. But this is actually a really good situation for them. The curling bomb is coming, and they are not able to shut it down. But actually, another curling bomb is coming. Now they are locked down, but they are at 50 points and pushing. But he does get taken down. But they still had that 4-1 advantage. The Rainmaker is in enemy turf or in their turf right now, so they're quite poised to do it. But with 3-1 right now, I don't think that Crème Fresh will be able to take his Rainmaker back right now. So now this is the Synergy's on court.
Yeah, you can see the curling bombs there from Sauropol were absolutely key in that defense. Margin, I think it was Margin carrying it. I can't remember who was carrying it, but Crème Fresh could have just turned around the corner and rushed to like 20 points in the time it took them to respawn, but Sauropol's curling bombs were there in time to stop the push, and we see another push coming in here, but the Junior has something to say about it.
That Inkjet right now trying to get them away from the Rainmaker, but unfortunately the bigger hitbox now on the Inkjet allows them to take him down rather quickly. And I think that Synergy is going to want to, I mean, not to be punny here, but really want to synchronize their Inkjets because that's going to really allow them to get a lot of control at one time. They want to make sure they pop that because that allows a lot of offensive pressure. Synergy almost snatching in there though. He took that leap of faith, not able to land it though. 51 points to 49. And Brian opting to not even grab the Rainmaker to try and get it out of the base. And see, I think Kronos might be the one grabbing it. No, just push up a splash wall. The Rainmaker, I think they might be more content with having it reset.
They're going to reset it.
They're going to let it reset and just try to get control of the center back than try to run it themselves. That's not a bad strategy either. Bomb Rush is coming out. You see his bow just going off everywhere.
That was a bit awkward what happened there. There was fighting going on in mid, and Crème Fresh actually won the fight. It was like 2v2 or something, and Crème Fresh won. But then it was Brian versus the Junior, or no, the T-Tech, sorry. And Brian missed his shot, and the T-Tech just picked the Rainmaker up and went for it, and almost got the lead. That was very awkward, and it would have been a very unfortunate way to get knocked out of the tournament if that's how the scores stay.
That Ink Armor saving fall and actually pushing him back, allowing him to reposition himself. That nerf to Ink Armor might have been more of a buff. Starting to see that happen in this tournament. As a matter of fact, this is the first major tournament with this patch, isn't it? So we're seeing this thing, we're seeing the splash down, we're seeing the armor and their impact on the meta. Like we're seeing that all play out right now. As we see Tim, that was such a great view of seeing that squid jump. Like he just came in from our point of view and said, excuse me, but still Tim does grab it and trying to push it forward, but he's gonna have to go down. Oh no, he's actually able to save himself, but there's that Rapid Blaster on point, catching him from the corner and not able to push it much farther. Shouts to Suction Bombs for cutting him off, and then the follow-up from the Rapid Blaster to save him. Right now, this is still showing off that this is a close match between these two teams. 51 to 49 points, 1 minute 30 seconds left on the clock, and Tim is once again making a mad dash, but only ended up getting mad blasted thanks to that Rapid Blaster, and then the Rainmaker is still sitting in the turf where they're able to push it if they can grab it now. They only have to get 3 points. Rainmaker is in their favor.
This is so close right now.
We have somebody flanking, walking on the top, able to push it in though, and they do take the lead. Synergy blows up with a minute left, but do have the Rainmaker in their control. Have a bleed of 31 to 49. Grab it again and immediately gets destroyed, but is still able to push it. 7 more points. 1 minute left on the clock, less than 1 minute left on the clock. You ready to take I think they do activate the ink rail. It is an option for them. One other person takes it, and the Rainmaker is still sitting there. Will they try to reset it, or they try to make a mad push? I think they actually are going to have a reset. No, he grabs it. He's going to attempt it. He's going to attempt this incline dash, which is not a bad idea, but they have to get control of the center, because if any person is in the center, that's going to be it. This is a very careful, a really good play, but very risky as well, because if they mess up, it's just going to reset themselves. They have a minute to make this work, 44 seconds left on the Rainmaker, so unless they have this Rainmaker reset, they only going to have, 16 seconds of overtime to make this happen. They are forcing no KO to being had on either team. Never mind, Crème Fresh ended up losing somebody. They had to make a push, they had to make it now. A double KO thanks to the Rainmaker, 10 seconds left on the clock. This is a 3-1 scenario.
They gotta move it here, holy shit.
They have to move it, they have to move it now. They're just
I don't
not
know
doing
what the delay is. There's 3 down, they gotta bloody well move it. There's 15 seconds on the Rainmaker.
Careful, but he has 10 seconds left, he's not gonna make it work. There's no way he can make it.
I don't even know if they can do it. Can they
wait?
They've got
Hold
barely enough time. They've got barely enough time. If this roll, no, too long. They waited
understand.
too long.
They had a 3-1 scenario. He was near the ink line. I don't understand what. I understand patience. He had the patience, but I think he lost sight of why he was being patient. That
is such a. You can see it on the scoreboard too. Crème Fresh massively outslaying Synergy right there. You could see Synergy. The what got them that push was just a gradual, like, turf coverage mismatch where the CF had the Charger and the Rapid Blaster, and they didn't have the bomb rushes up. So Synergy was able to just gradually push in, like, over and over with the extra turf coverage. But that was just like all other points of the match. Crème Fresh had the advantage. They just didn't quite push up fast enough. And like you gotta say, like, that at the end, Brian, like, they had time to actually jump into mid and sort of make something happen, and then get the pressure on Synergy. They could have pushed around the corner or something and got into a sort of stalemate situation where they had to where Synergy would have had to, like, win the Rainmaker fight, Rainmaker shield fight or something. And maybe, like, having margin with the bomb rush to win that for them, and, like, that could have done it for them. But instead, they didn't move up. They didn't make anything happen.
They held it. And I understand everything up until the point where he got the double KO with the Rainmaker. He was right there. They had a 3-1 scenario. You were near the ink line. I can't understand his thought patterns that he didn't just either take the ink line and take the risky way but fast way, or take the main way and follow your team who were literally leading you there. Instead it was just I don't know what to say. I really do not know what to say besides they definitely let it go there, unfortunately. It was a great game. It was a fantastic game. Well played on both ends. Don't get me wrong. It's just that last push is highly questionable.
Yeah, I think I can kind of see what he was thinking, because it was 4v4 the whole time, right? So in the last 30 seconds, it's always like, you never know, right? But the problem is, if you stay back with the Rainmaker, that's putting your team into a 3v4, and it's also giving the enemy team special. Like, they were gonna. One of the things with Rainmaker is you actually get free special when the enemy team is holding the Rainmaker. It doesn't matter if you're in the lead or not. So holding the Rainmaker for that long and not getting in and trying to get shots on people with it is a complete waste. It just gives them free specials. At the end of the day, it wasn't actually the specials that killed him. It was just a roller, Sharky, and a curling bomb. But it was still one more thing that the rest of Crème Fresh had to deal with. In those kind of situations, you absolutely need to get something happening, get something moving. And unfortunately, it just didn't quite work out.